Hello, welcome to Jane is Writes. I'm Jesse. On this channel, we talk about writing and everything around it. I think that'll be my intro. Um, for this video, so the previous video, I talked about how I wrote my novel, and I just walked you through the process of me writing that. And yeah, I have more thoughts on that, but for this video, maybe elaborate on some of my writing process in another video. But for this particular video, I want to talk about what my novel is about. Where is it, by the way? This is my novel, Chain and Bone, Part 1. It's part of a three-part series. I am currently writing Part 2. And yeah, Chain and Bone, Part 1. Medium length, 588 pages. But I put a lot of effort into this, very proud of it. And the link is in the description if you want to learn more. But we're going to talk about it in this video. So basically, the plot is about this man, Cormier Bones. He's a pirate. He's been a pirate for most of his life. And he meets this girl called Lila Belmond, and falls in love with her. So much so that he decides he wants to start a new life with her. He wants to settle down and become a different man for her sake. In order to do this, he needs just enough money to set up this new life. He wants to buy the bar at which she works and run it as a legitimate business, move away from his life of piracy. So he decides, let me go on one last voyage, a legal one. As a privateer, I will receive a letter of marque from authorities in which they will hire me and give me permission to seize a stolen ship, and by returning that ship, I will get payment. That payment, which is legitimate, it's not blood money, this is legitimate coin. That money will be then used to set up my life with Lila. So he goes on this mission. It's successful. And he comes back home to the island of Port Verde. He comes back home really excited. But what he finds when he gets back home is devastating. The town has been ravaged. There are dead bodies everywhere. They recognize some of these bodies as zombies, these husks with deformed, pale, almost jaundiced skin. And Lila's missing. She's nowhere to be found. Cormier finds out that she was kidnapped by an infamous pirate named Dord Moreau. What I'm telling you is very much the setup. Trust me, I'm not spoiling any major details. So much happens from that point onwards. But the reason why Dord Moreau kidnapped her is because he has this power known as the Devil's Hand. It's actually his left hand. And it is a zombified hand, skeletal, skin hanging off the bone, which allows him to drain living creatures of their essence, their life force, if he grips them. And I'm like, hold on, give me a second. Sorry, I just had to sort out my camera. But yeah, by holding individuals, living creatures, he can drain them of their life essence and turn them into zombies. They become so drained that they become husks, still living in the very technical sense of the word, but their spirits have been drained into his own essence. They are no longer there in spirit. Their bodies are just functioning purely off of instinct. They're husks. And the caveat, the trade off of this power is that he harbors all these spirits that he's absorbed. And they are all vying for dominance over his vessel. The more spirits he absorbs, the more spiritual conflict that occurs within his vessel. So he's prone to very violent seizures in which he can feel this conflict within him, where these spirits are trying to take over his body. It's very painful and there's always a risk of death. But there is a remedy to this ailment, because these are symptoms. What he's experiencing are symptoms typical of someone who is experiencing spiritual possession, which is exactly what he's experiencing. And the temporary remedy for that is to hear the voice of the beautiful voice of a singing maiden, a singing virgin. If you hear the song of a singing virgin and it's pleasing to your ears, the seizure will pass and calm will be restored to your body. So, knowing that this is the remedy he needs, he goes to Port Verde. The reason why he goes to Port Verde, it wasn't planned. What happened was he was on his ship with his crew, and while they were sailing to a particular destination, the seizure came upon him. It was the worst it had been up until that point, and they had to stop somewhere and find someone who can sing to him. Like they just decided that, look, we can't keep doing this. We need to find you someone because this is getting out of hand. So they stopped at the nearest island, which unfortunately was Port Verde, and that's how Lila got roped into that whole mess and got kidnapped. So the story is about Cormier coming home, finding out that she's been taken, and realizing he needs to go after her. He needs to find her and save her. All sorts of madness ensues from that point. This is a dark, raw, gritty narrative. I tried my best to balance between violence and tact. You don't want to be gratuitous in your violence, you know, you want to make sure that everything serves its purpose, that everything has meaning, that everything serves the overall narrative and message of the narrative, so that the point doesn't get lost in meaningless violence. But I definitely pushed things to the extreme. Depending on your tolerance for gore and things of that nature, you might love it or be unsettled by it. But I also balance that with humor, with romance. This is a romantic tale with with action that isn't always focused on violence, tension, suspense. I try to balance everything together. There's also a philosophical element to this story because the journey is going to make Cormier and his crewmates, because he's a pirate captain, he's a captain of a ship. He goes with his crew on this mission, so you're introduced to a cast of characters who are aiding him in his goal. Everyone is going to be forced to question themselves. What is good? What is evil? And when we see our darkness reflected back to us by other bad characters that surround us, is that going to convict us to change? Because when they are thrust into the depths of depravity, they really start to question their past and their past decisions and their lives as pirates. Because you can think about what pirates do. They plunder, they kill, they do all sorts of things. They live as outlaws, as outcasts of civilized society. Free men who live by their own rules. But the question of the story becomes, are you really free, or are you just a slave to your whims? Are you just a slave to your concept of freedom? Because maybe we're all slaves to something and we just have to choose what we're slaves to. So there are going to be several points in this story because it's layered discussion. You see this discussion happening at multiple points. So I'm very excited for those who have not read part one to read part one. And please, if you have read part one, send me your thoughts. I'm going to put my email in my description. It's jnizjokes@gmail.com. It's called jnizjokes because this was meant to be a skit channel. I repurposed it, but I can't really change my email address apparently. That's not an option. I tried. They said you can't. So I just kept the email, jnizjokes@gmail.com. I wasn't going to set up a new email address because my email address is tied to this account. Anyway, email me. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? Do you like it? What were your favorite? Who were your favorite characters? What were your favorite moments? All that good stuff. I'm very, very excited for you to read part two. Part two is going to take things to another level. It's going to just build on the foundation set by part one. And learning from the mistakes of part one, just improving, just getting better. I really want this to be a better version of part one in every sense. And I'm feeling very confident about that. I'm just taking my time. I think that's the key to achieving that goal, is to take my time and be patient. I would like to release this in Halloween season, but we'll have to see. If I realize that I'm not making rapid enough progress, I'll just push off the release to a later date because I can't rush. because this is going to be very long. Part 2 is going to be longer, significantly longer, because I'm creating new characters and I want to really develop them sufficiently. I've got new antagonists that are going to be very interesting, very interesting antagonists, very layered antagonists, which I feel like I created in the first volume as well. In part 1, the I'm very proud of my antagonists. I'm really, really proud. Dord Moreau, as you get to know him, as you spend time with him, I think you're going to find him to be very interesting. Just give it time, spend time with him, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And there are other characters in this book, in part 1, that are also very interesting. Put a lot of work into. Part 2 is going to have some wild characters. Trust and believe. But yeah, that's what my novel's about. That's what the series is about. Yeah, that's what the series is about. And I'm looking forward to continuing to talk about it on this channel. On my next video, I think I'll be talking about more about my writing process, especially as it pertains to part 2 and certain things I'm thinking about and how I'm gonna switch things up. My strategy is gonna be a bit different in part 2. But yeah, that'll be for the next video. So let me know what you think in the comments. I hope this video finds you wherever you are in your corner of the internet. And yeah, let's grow this channel. Please like, please subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd really like to grow this channel and promote my work. So thank you for watching.